back to another episode of Your Morning Drive. I am Logan Lewis. I am your host today. We are live from the Fireworks Studio in Marietta, Georgia. If you enjoy, before we get to our conversation today, if you enjoy what we do here and you want to share and spread the word, you can by sending it to just one friend. That's all I ask. Just send it to one friend, coworker, relative, cousin, ex-girlfriend, whoever you want to listen to this to start their day. If you want to listen, you can find us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And if you want to watch, you can watch on YouTube as well. If you want to do more than just listen and watch, you can follow along on social media at Your Morning Drive on Instagram and TikTok, where there's show updates, episode announcements, clips, everything in between, behind the scenes, you name it. I just mentioned that we're live from Fireworks in Marietta. Thank you to Fireworks in Marietta for the fantastic recording space that they've provided for me. They're all about creativity and community support. And if you are in the market for maybe you work at home, maybe you're sick of staring at your same desk and your dog or your spouse for 8 hours a day while you work at home, you can jump into Fireworks because I have a code that you can get a free day pass. So if you're looking for it, take a try. Code DRIVE, DRIVE, for a free day pass, and you can enjoy the inspiring environment. I don't know how many super cool people I've met just over the course of the last few months, just doing this with them. I mean, I've recorded episodes with some of their members that I've just met in passing from me coming in and them coming out. I mean, it's been a really cool thing, and we're working on some really cool things with Fireworks that will be probably announced at some point here or there. But again, code DRIVE and you can get a free day pass if you're trying to check out co-working spaces. If you're new to them, give it a try. You never know. I mean, it might be your next office space. So my guest today is a longtime entrepreneur that likes being a part of things that help people imagine their ultimate reality and figure out how to make it real through action. He is the co-founder of Reality Hacker Game Studios, a game publishing company focused on helping indie developers grow their studios without sacrificing their creative values. He also is a part of Captain Hook Media, a music production company that focuses on cinematic music for video games and TV. Please welcome my friend, Zach.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
for the intro.
Absolutely. I mean, I used to craft those intros by myself, and I learned over time that there's no better person to introduce themselves than that person.
That person's wife.
Let me correct you on that one. True. When I walk into a room, I immediately just discount myself. I don't know if that's a thing I've done my whole life, but my wife will absolutely like swoop in and be like, actually, you need to give yourself more credit. So I thank her for that.
1000% I resonate with you. Anytime I have to introduce myself in any capacity, it's Brianna, will you handle that for me? Because I know I'm going to flub it.
Exactly. And if somebody asks me, I hate when people are like, oh, give me the elevator pitch.
Yeah.
I never know what to say because I'll just keep rambling and going and going. And they're like, wow, this must be the longest elevator ride of all time.
Absolutely.
And
I hit the emergency stop button a long time ago. I got stuff to say.
I'm like, I'm mashing the door shut button. I'm like, and if you stay a little longer, you can listen to the,
preaching to the choir.
Hell yeah. So first of all, thanks for taking your time out of your Monday night to do this, man. I appreciate your time.
Man. I'm super excited to be here.
So we connected through Sharon, right?
Yes.
And I recorded an episode with her a couple weeks back, and she, as you'll find out after we record, I send everybody a link to a survey, kind of like the one that you filled out before you got here.
Okay.
And it always says, give me a couple people or one person that you think would be a good fit for this. And she mentioned you in that conversation.
Cool.
So
well, thank you, Sharon.
Yeah,
thank
right.
You.
She's so cool.
Dude, she's a just shining light of a person. She's always so much fun to be around.
Dude, so infectious.
Yeah.
Like, I could be having a bad day, but if she just walks into the room, she's just like, hey, how's it going? And,
Absolutely.
she just, is herself, and she just radiates positivity,
Absolutely.
which I need every once in a while.
For
Not
sure.
gonna lie.
It's important to have. It's important to have. And those people are always, I mean, case in point, those people are always connectors. They're always introducing you to new people. It just, there's nothing but benefits to being around people like that.
You know, what's weird is a few years ago, I feel like I knew this friend who was like, you know what, I'm good with meeting new people. I'm like, I'm good. I'm done meeting new people.
Yeah.
And at the time I was like, yeah, I got my friends, you know, I got the homies, you know, I got, you know, the tight knit friends.
Yeah.
But then I was like, but I feel like that's so close-minded in a way.
Oh, you lose out on so much,
dude.
I was that attitude for most of my life. Like, I hate people. I've got my inner circle of friends. I know who I like, and that's just not how we're designed, man. We're tribal creatures. We're supposed to be meeting new people and experiencing new perspectives, and it's just so much more fun.
It is fun, dude, because then we wouldn't be able to do things like this.
Exactly.
We're two randoms that had never spoke, never met. We're like, hey, do you want to just do a podcast episode with me real quick? And by the end of the conversation, like I talked about it on Sharon's episode, it's like once you do a podcast episode with a guest, it's almost like a bond is created. And it's like, yeah, like if anyone ever mentions the words video game music or TV music or any of the things that we'll probably talk about today, I'm like, oh yeah, Zach, let me get you his number.
It's just, there's
like,
no reason to not make friends.
Facts.
You know?
Like, my wife will criticize me because, so on my bachelor, you said you're married, right?
Yes.
Okay. So my bachelor party, I had 20 people on.
Okay.
I am a social butterfly. And so I was like, well, I can't invite this guy without inviting that guy. I mean, that'd be disrespectful. Yeah. And of course I'm going to invite this cousin, but what's my other cousin going to think about it? Yeah. So I had a huge bachelor party, and every get together, small wine night we're supposed to have, everything we end up doing ends up being like 15, 20 people.
Yeah.
Because I just love getting people together.
Yeah.
So sometimes there's, I just feel like having that mindset of being like, oh, I'm good, is like, think of all the fun you're missing out on.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can't speak to your friend, but I have found in my experience and people close to me with that same mentality, that usually comes from somewhere else. Mm-hmm. I mean, usually comes from there. You can't get burned. And it's usually you get burned enough times where now it's you afraid everyone's going to burn you. And it's a shame because you do miss out on meeting a lot of cool people.
You really do.
I get it, you know?
Yeah. I'd never been a therapy guy until this year. I started going to therapy by myself, and it's amazing. Yeah. And it's so crazy. Like you said, something like that comes from somewhere else.
Yep.
It's so crazy that at least once I went to therapy, I started thinking about everybody in a different way.
Yep.
It's like, oh, why is my friend always like this? And then I think, well, it probably has something to do with that. Or it's so crazy how even the things that happened to you, maybe when you were 3 years old, can impact the way you act as an adult.
Yep.
It's insane.
Absolutely. 100%. I mean, everything's got a purpose. Everything's got a reason. My wife always talks about how people either act out of love or fear. That's the root of every single thing. And usually your experiences kind of load one of those chambers more than the other. And that's where you get, I mean, that understanding has helped me be so much more patient with people. And, you know, it helps you get, like, you don't get as angry when you're walking around and someone does something annoying because everyone's going through something. You know what I mean?
Do you struggle with that, with like the scenario you just said of walking around and somebody does something that inconveniences you or annoys you? Do you struggle with that? Because I do.
I've always been pretty even keel. I don't struggle with it in the sense where like that incident pisses me off. I've always struggled with it in the sense of like I take a lot personally. So like I've been in sales, I'm in sales now, and, you know, cold calling and stuff like that has always been a struggle for me.
Sure.
I have never been able until recently been able to detach the like, oh, F off, I don't want your product. That's always been like an attack on me. Like, why would they say that to me? I'm trying to be nice. Right.
I'm trying to give you something that you need.
Right. So I struggle with it in that sense. But again, you understand that person's got a whole other day going on. Who knows how annoyed they are by the other 1,400 people that called them.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, it's a struggle, especially in the world of working for somebody else, especially like if you get passed up for the next promotion or the next position. And, you know, they always tell you the same thing, like, oh, man, you're right there. It's just nothing personal. And it's like, I can't help but leave that conversation with my boss, sit at my desk and think, it is me.
Yeah. 100%.
Otherwise, they would have chose me. Right.
Right.
Like, how can you not sit there and think like, I'll get them next year? Like, I wish I had that mindset.
Yeah.
But for that first like 24 hours, I'm like, they hate me.
Yeah.
They don't like me. They don't want me. Yep.
Dude, I get it.
It's a struggle.
I get it. I'm definitely not out of it myself. It's been, I started my therapy journey 2020. So
Okay.
I've got a couple of years of practice on all the internal self-development stuff. It's a lot of practice and self-talk and affirmation. And again, it's really about understanding the source of everybody's actions, including your own. I mean, even that sense of like, I don't mean to go deep into the therapy route. You can
get deep, man. You can get deep.
Like,
people are like, I thought this was like a video game conversation. We're talking about therapy. Eventually. We'll get there.
I'm going to get to psychology and video games too at some point.
Cool with me.
But even that scenario of like, I can't separate, it's obviously me or else they would have picked me. That comes from somewhere too.
Yeah.
It's so I'm actually reading it or not reading. I'm listening to an audiobook, which I think counts.
I think that counts. Yeah.
But it's called The Big Leap, and it's by a guy named Gay Hendricks, and he talks about the upper limit theory. And the basic idea is we all have a preconceived limit of how much joy and fulfillment and good we're allowed in our life, that we're deserving of. And that limit is set by our past experiences, by what we observed from our parents, from our friends, our surroundings, what a teacher said from us. So it'll be things like, if you ever you crush it at work and you get a bonus, for a lot of people, something bad will immediately follow that bonus that keeps you from enjoying the fact that you just made that bonus, whether it's you get in a fight with your wife or you
hit a nail and you have to get new tire,
something like that. And it's because something in your life has given you this marker of like, I'm not worthy of anything past this. And so when you start to approach that line, you start to self-sabotage in different ways.
Sure.
And it comes from, I overachieved in school and someone got mad at me about it or something like that.
It's almost like it's a balance. It's like for every great thing that happens to me, an equally as great, but in a negative connotation has to also happen to me for it to balance.
Right.
Huh.
Crazy, right?
It is crazy.
Yeah.
That's a crazy way of thinking about it.
If you meditate with that for a few days, you're going to start doing some crazy stuff, bro.
Well, I won't get too deep into it or too deep into your business, but did you start going to therapy for a specific reason, or was it just kind of something that needed to happen? Or
a lot of it was, like a lot of people, COVID, we were all locked inside for a really long time. It kind of forced you to be alone with your thoughts. I know there was a lot of personal and relationship things that kind of got flared up because of all of the new stuff. And I just, I owe a lot of it again to my wife, because she's always someone who she was much further along in the self-development journey than I was. And it was just an inspiration of, I don't want to be stuck in this kind of like lost feeling, this frustration feeling, this feeling of sadness. There's obviously confusion going on. And when your knee hurts, you go to a professional to help you fix your knee. It's like, oh, my brain hurts, so let me go see if someone can help me sort this out. Yeah. And then we met Suzette, my therapist, and she's just the greatest person on the freaking planet. So I just didn't stop going.
Yeah.
And you get that one, you hit that one milestone of like, oh my God, I never realized that that's why I do this.
Yeah.
And it's addicting.
I hit that maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I can't stop thinking about the next appointment.
Right.
Like, I'm excited.
How much freer do you feel?
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
But now, I've realized a lot of my, I won't say why, but because they listen, but I've realized where a lot of my issues come from.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that now that I've discovered within myself why, and it's because of this entity, whenever I am near that entity, I can't help but be like, like side eye on them.
Yeah.
Like, I am the way I am because of you.
Yeah.
It's your fault.
Right.
I have these issues because of my, maybe not their fault, but my experiences with them.
Right.
Because I like to think that nobody intends on hurting anybody else, unless, if we're going extreme, like obviously like murder or things like stuff like that. But I genuinely think just us regular day-to-day people, I don't think anyone leaves their house in the morning aiming to upset or inconvenience anyone else.
Absolutely. Everyone thinks they're the hero of their own story. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So even the people that, honestly, I'm in the complete woo-woo side of things, but even that murderer, was once a child, was once a baby that
was
just
pure.
wanted to, yeah. So it's like everyone's got a story. It doesn't make any of it right, but it can ease the burden for, you or me who's going through it to know that like there's a reason there. It's not because of me that they're doing that. That has nothing to do with me.
I'm a big movie nerd, so when we're talking about this, it immediately sparks to the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix.
Yes,
it's
bro.
like, I remember when that movie got announced, everyone was like, we don't need a Joker origin story. He's just a maniac, and everyone accepts it because that's just who he is.
Yeah.
And I saw the other side of it that was like, but like, why is he a maniac?
Right.
And it's like, I want to know that story.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to know, because, the whole Batman, I'm sure you're aware. I mean, you're a nerd like me.
Very much so.
You know that traditionally in the comics, Joker has no alias. He has no name. He's just Joker.
See, I'm not as much of a comic book nerd, so no, I did not know.
So I only know that because I've seen documentaries. But
right.
Joker doesn't have a Bruce Wayne or like a Clark Kent. He doesn't have a name. He's just Joker.
Right.
Because whoever he was has been taken over by the new Clown Prince of Crime alias. So when that movie got announced, they're like, no, we don't need to see the human side of Joker. He's a maniac. He's a murderer. We don't need to know why. We don't need to see the human side why. But when they put that movie out, it was a banger.
Absolutely.
Because it showed that, like you kind of feel sorry for the guy.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it makes it so much more sinister. Too,
yeah.
Right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Now you know the reasons. You know who he's angry at.
Yeah.
You know what the motivations are.
Yeah.
Bro, I will never understand an argument for not needing a why for anything.
Facts.
Not wanting to know the reason for something. I mean, talking about video games, how much more fun is a game when you're like, the game itself is already fun, but now you have a good story to give you motivation to do it all. Like,
hell yeah.
Bro, there's never a reason to not know why something is happening.
I'm so excited that we get to talk video games because I feel like as adults, like, so let me ask you this. So your wife, how long have you all been married?
We've been married, 3 years.
Okay, so right around the same amount of time as we have. When you guys met, is your wife a gamer as well?
She is not, but she likes games enough to like try to play them with me. Like, I don't know if you've ever played Overcooked, but
I have not.
We go hard in the paint in Overcooked.
What's Overcooked?
It's a little silly cartoon game where you run a kitchen and you got to run and mash buttons to cook food and serve it to the.
Oh, that sounds amazing,
dude. You want to talk about some loud screaming between spouses, bro? I've played every game under the sun. That's the most intense experience I've had.
Wow. Okay. Noted. I'm going to have to give it a look.
Oh, dude, it's a great co-op game to introduce someone who doesn't know video games into video games. It's a beautiful entry.
When I first started dating her, I feel like I prioritized my time with her a lot and I didn't game as much.
Yeah.
But when I got, of course, more comfortable with her and we started living, when we moved in together and then we got married, she was like, you play video games a lot, like a lot. Yeah. And I think at first she had trouble with that. Did your wife ever have trouble with it?
She never struggled with it. I'm much like you. I obviously prioritize my time with her, and still I really do. I usually play, hey, you're going to bed. I'm going to stay up and play Destiny for a few hours. Because these days, like, I don't play crazy amounts.
Yeah.
So it's not a huge issue.
Yeah.
I didn't have my benders for a very long time, so it never really clashed.
Yeah. I'm on a bender right now.
With Avatar?
Well, I'm just gaming in general.
Okay.
For some reason, I just I crave it.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Like,
man.
There was a period of time a few months ago where this podcast wasn't an interview podcast. It was a movie podcast. It was all I did was I had some co-hosts and we broke down like news, trailers. We reviewed movies and stuff. And I was going to the movies all the time.
Yeah.
All the time, like twice a week. I was seeing everything.
Yeah.
And after I realized that I want to talk to people and that's what I want my thing to be, I stopped going as much. And it's almost like I needed a void to fill that. Mm-hmm. And it was like, ooh, video games is an easy void to fill. So I think we texted a little bit. I'm a big single player game guy. I love single player campaigns and stories. And I mean, I just get sucked into it so much that like all I can think about is like, after this podcast, I'm going to go home. I'm going to upload my files to my thing. And then I'm going to see if the wife wants to do anything. And if she doesn't, time for video games.
Yeah,
like
100%.
I love it though.
Yeah. It's escapism. It's a nice way that's what bonded me to video games as a kid. It's like, especially younger, before before my confidence was developed, it's like, oh, I get to go be the hero of the land for the next 6 hours. You know what I mean? It's just, it's awesome to get captivated into another world. And I've always loved video games because they bring out really awesome sides of you if they're done correctly. Again, like to what I just said, a lot of my confidence was brought out from the games I played growing up. I resonate with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. Do you know what the first video game you played was?
I couldn't tell you the very first game I played. The first one that made an impression on me was Halo.
Okay.
Original Xbox Halo.
Okay.
That first cello line.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one that is like, I anchor as my video game awakening.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I think the first one for me, I was real young. Like, it was on PlayStation 2 or PS1. It was the original. No, it was PS1. It was the original Spyro the Dragon.
Okay.
And so it was the first one that I think I had played like Frogger and like those little minimal like the arcade games and stuff too.
Right.
But none of them ever made an impression.
Right.
But Spyro, I was like, oh my God, this is so fun. I get to navigate these different worlds. I get to see these things. I get to, kill the bad guys. I get to collect treasure, and I get to, and I was like, oh my God, like this is addictive. And so
100%.
like I was hooked from there. And then, yeah, I've just not stopped.
What do you think it is about a game like Spyro that really stood out to you? I mean, I know you said that it was the worlds and all that, but
maybe it was
why'd you connect so much?
I don't know, man. It was almost like, I've never said this out loud, but I almost feel like in those games, Spyro is presumably a kid. Like he's always younger than all the other dragons. He's always he's the smallest of all the dragons. I was like, oh, this little dragon is saving the world. Like, that's cool.
Yes, bro.
And it's almost like you said, it's like everybody is the hero in their own story. So it was like, oh my God, that's so cool that he gets to do that.
Dude, oh my God, I'm literally getting goosebumps because that's exactly what I like. That's why video games are so special to me, because they help. It seems like we had a similar childhood where your social skills were developed later in your life.
Correct.
As a kid, you were probably more shy, a little bit more reserved.
Correct.
100% same with me. I had an older brother who was the athlete, the outgoing, super social butterfly dude in high school. And I never had the social skills to be the hero. So again, I resonate with you so hard because like that's why I loved Halo so much, is it was the first time I was like, oh, everyone's looking to me to save the day. Everyone's looking to me for security.
Yeah.
I get to be the person with the solution here. And that's what I find so beautiful about games that I think is overlooked. It just gives people a new way to communicate and resonate. Because I also bonded with friends over Halo. You know what I mean? Like friends that I wouldn't have trying to just, hey, go play on the playground together. I never would have interacted with these kids. But talking about Master Chief and how sick it is that we're fighting the Covenant and all that, boom, instant group of friends.
There was this, when I was same story with me. When I was younger, I'm the oldest, but my younger two siblings were the athletes, superstars, super popular. I was never that guy.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was in middle school, I was playing Modern Warfare 2, goated, with just a couple of my friends, but one of my friends played football, and the QB for our high school or middle school or whatever it was like the most popular kid in school, and the football team was playing COD that night. They were playing Search, and they needed a sixth. And my buddy was like, hey, no one else is on. Do you want to play with us? And I was like, oh, yeah. So I'm in this party chat with all these kids at school that I would not talk to, that I would not go up to their lunch table. Right. I would not, say, what's up, man? Like, I wouldn't do any of that.
Right.
But the fact that I got to play COD with these guys, and like at school, like I would pass them in the hall and they'd just be like, what's up, man? Like, almost pretend like they didn't know me, because I was an outcast. I was not popular. Right. But I would also do, after that interaction, I'd be like, oh, that sucks. He didn't acknowledge me. But at the same time, I'd be like, but I get to play Call of Duty with that guy.
Yeah, I did. Like, I've got the ability to hang out with people.
Yeah.
You know what
like,
I mean?
I'm cool. Like, these guys invite me to the party when I'm on now, because they know that they can rely on me to be a good teammate.
Right.
Whereas at school, like they're not going to rely on me for anything.
Right. Well, and what I find amazing about that story, and I'm assuming, but I'm going to dig into the whole like
Go for it.
why it all works. I would imagine in that Call of Duty lobby, you had a completely different personality. I would imagine some of this outgoingness came out. You were probably doing call outs. Hey, they're at B. Hey, I'm doing this. Hey, I'm doing that. So in that medium, it gave you the voice of a confident, outgoing, social butterfly, right?
This is facts.
That's so sick.
Because then when you get to school, then I just revert back to that
I'm
silent, quiet, only spoke when spoken to.
Yeah.
But when you're online, it's just a different confidence.
And it develops because you've got it now. And now you're inviting strangers to come and sit with you in a closet and have a podcast, right? Like that's
true.
That's what I love about that medium. That's why they're so important to me. Is it's truly where I developed so much of my personality, so many of my closest friends, and I see it happen with so many other people. That's cool to hear, man.
And that's beautiful that you say that, because I've never thought about it like that. But I always wonder where, because again, with my siblings being the athletes and the superstars and the popular ones, I don't know at what point in my life I developed the confidence to be social in real life. I don't know where that came from. Video games might have done that.
They definitely played a role.
I've never said this out loud before. This is like another therapy moment, like a holy shit moment.
I've been practicing a very long time.
What? Oh, that's amazing. Okay. We'll get back to video games in a second. So tell me first, I mentioned in the intro, tell me all about Captain Hook Media.
So Captain Hook Media is my dad and my company.
Okay.
My dad is a lifelong musician, amazing piano player, amazing songwriter.
Okay.
Got me into music when I was very, very young. And we've always done music together. About the time I was graduating high school or mid-college, I don't know, one of those blurry old years.
How old are you? You mind me asking?
28.
Okay, we're the same age.
Yeah.
Okay. Sick.
Sick, bro.
Sick, dude. Dude, my friends like give me so much shit because I do this all the damn time, bro. And I don't have a tattoo yet, but I've been talking a lot about getting tattoos more recently. And I was like, I don't know what the first tat should be. And they were like, oh, it's got to be that. It's got to be like an emoji of that. And I was like, okay.
Dude, I'm all about don't overthink the tattoos. I mean, I got the PlayStation controller.
Holy shit, that's amazing.
Yeah, bro. Like, they're just
that's fucking awesome.
they're little highlights. They're highlight reels.
Hell yeah. What else you got then? I mean, is there anything else that's just sick like that?
This one's my favorite of mine. This was my wife and my wedding present to each other.
Okay.
So she has a white one that goes the opposite direction.
Okay.
So when we hold hands, it does like the yin and yang symbol.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's very cute.
Very cute.
But
it makes for some great photos.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
I just think the artist did a sick design on this one. So
yeah,
I really love that.
Absolutely.
That's a koi fish for anybody who can't see.
Yeah.
And then I've just got walk by faith, not by sight on my arm. I don't remember what exact Bible verse that is. But
wow.
It's in there.
It's in there.
I do my best as a Christian. But those are the only three.
Okay.
I want more. I've got ideas for much more, but they're very, very expensive and
of course.
very addicting. So
I'm just afraid of the pain, bro. That's the only reason I haven't gotten one yet.
It depends on where you get them. They're not all bad. So like this was cake. That didn't feel like nothing. That didn't feel like nothing. If you pinch your skin, that's what you're feeling. It's no worse than that. This guy up here, can I curse on here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sucked ass.
You can say what you want, bro.
Dude, right here by the elbow is terrible. But a good tattoo artist will walk you through like where it will hurt the most, where it won't hurt. So it's not terrible.
Okay.
If you can handle like getting a shot at the doctor, you're fine.
Okay. Because my brother, my dad, my sister, and my mom, they all have got them, and I'm just the only one. And my dad has been like, "I'll pay for your first few tattoos."
Oh, dude, go get a tattoo.
But I can't, bro. I'm so scared.
Dude, they're not bad.
You want to come with me?
Sure, I'm down. I'd be happy to.
Let's go.
You're in a good spot. Atlanta's got great tattoo parlors.
Right?
The good ones, they'll set up a TV. What do you want to watch? You put a movie on. You just,
hell
just
yeah.
lay back and chill out. I was watching Band of Brothers when I got this one done.
Oh, I was going to say I was throwing the SpongeBob movie, bro.
Dude.
Or the Lion King,
do whatever you want, bro.
That's amazing. Okay.
So Captain Hook Media.
Captain Hook Media, yeah.
So
tangent aside.
We've been writing music for all of my life. When I was in high school and college, we were doing more like pop rock kind of stuff. I was trying to pursue being an artist and actually go that route. So we released some music doing that. I decided I didn't want to pursue that career. And then we just got, my dad's always been into film score. He likes Hans Zimmer and that kind of stuff. So we
Hell
started,
yeah.
we started getting into like playing with samples and electronic music, and that became super fun. And then as of a couple years ago, I was like, why don't we try doing this for video games? Bing, bang, boom. We got a couple of releases. We love that process. We've been working with a company that does like promotional trailers. So we're writing the big, like 3-act, big, like Avengers kind of style
Hell
thing,
yeah.
stuff. And it's a passion project for the two of us. We love, again, being a part of stories that help people feel heroic. And that's kind of the music we write. So we've done promotions, video games. We've done a couple podcast intros. We just like writing music.
Hell yeah, dude. That's sick.
Yeah. Been a lot of fun.
That's freaking badass.
I appreciate
and
it,
Hans
man.
Zimmer is a fantastic example.
Can do no wrong.
Can do no wrong. I don't know why this is in my workout playlist, but it's the theme of excuse me, people. I know I might get shit for this, but like, okay, Transformers 3.
Yeah.
There's a theme in there where Optimus Prime is like, he's like descending on the battlefield with like this giant jetpack, and he like dismounts. He's like skating and sliding and cutting people in half and shit.
Yeah.
And like, it gives me goosebumps every time I hear it. It's so sick.
I can't think of the music, but the visual you gave me and knowing Hans Zimmer wrote something to it, I'm
Dude,
sure it's over
dude,
the top.
it is so badass. It's in my workout playlist. And when it comes on, I'm like looking around. I'm like, oh shit,
dude,
I'm about to get so hyped right now.
You want to throw some weight through the ceiling? Look up if you go to Spotify or Apple Music and just look up like epic film trailer, epic cinematic trailers.
Absolutely.
Dude, it's game over.
Okay.
It's game over. You're breaking records.
So I didn't realize you guys were as big as into film too. So names
more so him than me. I am not anywhere near the film buff as I am the game buff, but I can try.
So what got him so into music? Has he just always been into that?
He's always been, yeah. He was a piano player since like 8 or 9 years old. He was in a rock band in the 80s called Tandem, very much in the style of like Journey and Foreigner in Boston.
Have I heard of Tandem?
Probably not unless you lived in Brazil for a while.
Well, have not lived in Brazil.
They did really well in Brazil for some reason. They didn't quite pick up in the States. They didn't perform much, which is probably what held them out. They were much more, again, he and I are both people that prefer to be in the studio making music, where neither one of us really enjoyed the performing side. So that's going to hold you back in the States for a music act. But they sold a shitload of records in Brazil for some reason. Brazil loved them. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Do they ever come down to figure out why?
No. Just like chalked it up as a win, move on.
That's the why that we need to figure out, bro.
Exactly.
Is why did Brazil just love his music?
Exactly. So no, yeah, he's been in music his whole life.
Okay, cool. So Captain Hook Media is y'all's passion project.
100%.
Hell
Absolutely.
yeah. If it I mean, this might be a dumb question, but if it could replace your job, would you let it?
It for the most part does. I'm someone who I just get bored a lot, so I have a lot of different things I do, but Captain Hook Media is very much one of the things that's keeping me afloat right now.
After talking to you for like 30 minutes, dude, I can tell that you and I are very similar.
Yeah, absolutely.
In that your statement, I get bored really easily, so I have a lot of things that I try to do.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. I get very, very bored if things don't change or move or either get harder or I need a variety of shit to do.
Absolutely. That's been a struggle. That's like if I wrote out my resume, it's like 91 things because I just I need to know, like what would it be like if I did that? Oh, let's see.
Dude, sometimes my wife, bless her, and also probably bless yours, because I'll sit there and we'll be on the couch just watching TV, and I'll be like, I should write a TV show. I'd love to write like an 8-episode like comedy series. And she's just like, are you tired? And I'm like, yeah, but like think about how cool that would be.
Yeah.
And she's like, go for it. But this will probably be something that you obsess over for 2 or 3 weeks, and then it'll just get lost in your hard drive.
Yeah. And
that's usually true.
That's true. Eventually, I feel like I don't know, because I say eventually you find the couple ones that you want to stick to, but I guess I'm still working on nailing those down.
It sounds like you've got a couple.
I've got a couple that I do, because there's a level. If we're talking about self-development, my current journey right now is realizing, oh hey, none of these are gonna feel like the honeymoon period forever. Mm-hmm. So I should pick the ones that really excite me and tough it out for like a full year, and not hop to a new idea after 3 months.
I
That's where I'm at right now.
luckily, this whole situation here is the honeymoon every single time.
There you go, man.
Like I have my day job, and I appreciate them because they pay for my mortgage and all of my day-to-day life. But I am never as happy ever there as I am when I'm doing this.
There you go, man.
Like,
you found something.
Yeah.
You found
So
something.
if it works one day, it works. But otherwise, I will keep.
Well, isn't that a great barometer for, finding your purpose, is locating something that you're not making a full-time living doing, but it's still not an option to not do it?
Oh, facts, dude.
Like, isn't that a beautiful litmus test in itself?
It's beautiful, but it also sometimes like back when I first, I don't know, a couple years ago when I was doing the movie podcast instead of this one. So like I mentioned earlier, I was going to the movies all the time. I was seeing everything. I was seeing shit I didn't want to see.
Yeah.
For what?
Yep.
Like, I'm doing this thing on the side. Maybe 15 people listen to it at the time.
Yeah.
Like, no one's going to care if I'm not able to provide a review on Monday for a movie that had just come out on Friday.
Right.
No one's going to sue me.
Right.
No one's looking at their phone like, God, I really hoped he had the Inside Out 2 review. Like, no one cares.
Yeah.
Yet I treated it, I was like, well, I got to go.
Yeah.
I've got to go so I could talk about it.
Yeah.
So but that was my life.
So you found a disconnect that you didn't feel that you were doing something of high value for people?
At the time, no, but more recently, I've just it's more of just, I don't know. I just feel called to this every single time. And every time I pull in this parking lot, I feel like this very godly presence of this is where I'm supposed to be.
Bro.
Like when I'm setting this shit up and plugging the microphones in, pulling the laptop up, when I'm, sending y'all surveys and getting y'all's information, typing up the questions and bullet points, I'm like, God, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Dude, follow that wholeheartedly, bro. That's 100% God. For me, in my opinion, you're being told that this is something that you can impact people for. And I can, just in listening, I was telling you before we started, just in listening to the podcast, you have a personality that invites, you cultivate a environment that gets people to share their stories, their lessons. And in that, you can spread those stories to other people who need to hear it. So 100%. Again, I'm not trying to invade your life or get super preachy here.
You can ask me and tell me anything you want to,
I'm just
bro.
saying, because I've run into that where I've been doing something that I thought would be really fun, that I loved very much. Referencing your movie podcast,
okay.
Right? You love movies. So
yeah.
This seems like something.
Yeah, no brainer.
You reach a point where it's like, why am I doing this? Who is this helping? What is this doing?
What's this
what am
for?
I here for? Right? Because when I was pursuing being a music artist, I was in a hard rock kind of metal band in college, and we were picking up. We were doing really well. We played a lot of the local Atlanta venues. We got to open for Saving Abel and bands I grew up with.
What the hell, man?
Yeah, it was sick. I reached that point where it's like, what am I doing here?
Really?
This is cool. This is fun, but what?
No offense. I feel like you were right there though,
Honestly, 100%. Had we kept pushing what we were doing, I think we could have done something really great.
Wow.
But my heart wasn't in it. Because I know.
I don't blame you, man.
I know that, one, I'm a homebody. I love my people, and the idea of a career being away for 9 months out of the year,
true,
just singing the same songs over and over again, that's gonna burn me out immediately. And two, it gets to a point where it's like I don't feel that this is doing anything for anybody, and that's a hard thing to overcome.
It is.
That's not some simple I'm not good enough, where a life coach can get you through it, or some self-meditation can get you through it. When you realize I know that I'm not providing anything through this, that's a tough one to overcome. But it leads you to a new direction. You have found something where it seems that you find some serious fulfillment.
I do. And, it's one of those things also where rather than the movie podcast, if I am pumping out these interviews and doing these until the day I die, if I pull up the analytics, if I do this episode with you and I pull up the analytics and it said 7 people listen to it, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because selfishly, I had a really good conversation with a really cool person who will become a friend after this. But B, like, I always just feel so alive.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's a shitty interview, because there always is, there's always, every once in a while, I don't want to say they're shitty, but every once in a while, there's ones that just don't hit as hard as the last.
Right.
But every single time I walk out thinking like, yeah, it might have sucked a little bit, but it was still freaking awesome.
Yeah. That's a beautiful thing, bro. I'm really happy you found that.
Well, I appreciate that, dude. That's nice of you. So moving on from Captain Hook Media, let's talk about Reality Hacker Game Studios.
Yeah, so that is the newest venture. This is
the new 9 months.
Yeah, well, that is as of like we started this like 2 months ago. But it's funny.
Wow, very fresh.
Yeah, this actually came about through Captain Hook Media to the point of one door leads to another. You know what I mean? So it's me and my now good friend Mike. Mike started the studio before I came in. He already had Reality Hacker Game Studios before I was there.
Okay.
And I actually connected with him on a Facebook thread where he was looking for audio. I think he needed sound design for some of the effects in the game. And being the freelancer that I am, sharked on it immediately, right? And we had a Zoom call and we just both hit it off over video games, bro.
Yeah, just
video
clicked.
Games are the key.
Yeah. Video games bring people together,
they
bro.
Do, bro. And that's kind of the whole like foundation of the studio is the connection side of video games. But we bonded over Destiny. I don't know if you've ever played Destiny.
Oh, absolutely. Dude, I played Destiny.
That game has way more hours of my life than I care to admit.
I'm going to interrupt you and just be like, I so badly want to get back into Destiny, but I am so scared because I could be sucked up.
Oh, it'll get you. The newest expansion is it's a life taker. 100%, bro. I have to put in very strict boundaries with myself or else it's game over for any entrepreneurial ambitions I have. Done deal, but it's fire, bro. It's absolutely fire.
Okay.
They mixed the subclasses together. I don't want to bore your audience, but you know that there was solar. And you can merge them now.
Oh, Jesus.
So whatever. But anyway, we bonded over Destiny. And it turned to the conversation of just audio thing to us actually like we were rating in Destiny and talking about different things. And it came to a point where he was like, hey, do you want to like partner with me on this? Because you've got really fantastic ambitions and insights towards video games. And Mike has an incredible resume in past. He has a coaching program called Reality Hacker. And that's towards like entrepreneurs and coaches and all that. And he's freaking a rock star. He's helped like thousands of coaches hit $1 million in revenue. The program's in 150 countries. Like he's a young Elon Musk type.
Wow. Okay. Beast. Good for him.
Yeah. So it became a thing of like, hey, come and help me build this game. So we're working on the first game, Codebreaker Crush. They've already released a couple of small ones, but this is our first, like, this is going to be something identifiable. And from there, it's just been our like rambling conversations between me and Mike about what the game industry needs and how underserved it is and how when you're talking with these independent game devs, it's like any group of artists where business is just not talked about and they're so underserved and there's not resources that properly present business to these game devs. So the studio has now grown an arm of a community and a coaching program to help game devs understand that like business doesn't mean spamming your players with ads or ridiculous microtransactions and what they all think it is. And they're like, business is an exchange of value. You are making a product that's very valuable to someone and they are paying you money for it to compensate you for that value.
Right.
That's it. And you deserve to be paid for that. So the studio at this point is just, we want to empower game devs to grow their business and grow their studios without having to sacrifice their creative values and what made them love video games in the first place.
Right. AKA try not to pull an EA and throw the microtransactions at you for Battlefield.
Right. Yeah.
What could have been a pristine experience, they took it and said, let's add microtransactions and ruined the experience.
Well, and the problem is that these young and up and coming game devs see that. And that becomes, again, everything comes from something, comes from love or fear.
And they're like, oh, EA's doing it. So
well, it's not even that. It's usually the ones that are like real in their soul artists that are making something crazy, like crazy unique. They'll look at that and be like, see, that's what happens when you even entertain marketing, when you even entertain monetization, when you even entertain business.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't take that opinion either, because now your game's never going to see the light of day if you don't do anything. You don't pick up any of these principles. Like, you have a marketing company, right? I think I saw on Facebook.
Yeah.
So, target customer
Yeah.
and learning how to freaking market test and play test and building out a plan and a budget, like all the boring shit that a company has to do to be profitable, you still need to do if you want to make money doing this.
Yeah. Right.
And that's been like the passion project arm of the studio, is to get that out. And again, give community to that group of underserved people, because I'm not sure if you've ever like been in a capacity of putting out, are you a musician or a painter or anything like that?
Nothing like that.
All right. Well, most artists, not most, that's not fair. A lot of the loud ones, the ones on social media, can kind of be dicks about when you're asking questions that you should know the answers to. Or like, if you ask, hey, I got this game out, what do you guys think are good ways to monetize it? I want to make money off of this. You're going to get eviscerated, because you shouldn't be making it for the money. You should be making it for the love of the craft.
Right. Yeah.
Look, money is not the first question you should ask when you're doing something like that, but it is a critical question.
Sure.
If you don't have it, you're not going to stay alive.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you got to make money to stay afloat somehow.
Exactly. So,
but there's a level, or there's a line.
Right. It should never be the first question.
Correct.
It should never be, how do I make money? Oh, I can make this game that'll make money. That's a dark road. I made this thing that's really freaking cool.
You're good. You can do it.
Really freaking cool, that I'm really proud of. Now, what can I do to help it make money?
Sure.
So that I can keep making these cool things. And that's a lot where a lot of the studio's focus has gone. We're still making games because we want to show like, hey, we're doing what we're teaching you to do. But I think me and Mike's passions have really taken over, much like how you've experienced with your podcast. It's become so much more, we're so much more called to serve these people and help artists that are way more talented than we are get their art out. That's selfishly, I want to play the games. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
I love that you say that, because I'm doing this. I've realized over the course of the last few months of like interviewing all these really cool people, I've gotten to interview folks that are members here, and they all own really cool businesses. And it's so cool. I've done so many interviews over the years that I'm like, you know what? I finally want to be in a place, and I've hinted at this a little bit, but I think it's going to happen later this year. So stay tuned, folks, if you're local and you're a business owner. But I am going to put on an event where everybody that I've interviewed, every entrepreneur, every freelancer, every creative, everybody is going to get an invite to an event at this co-working space where they purely can just network. And it's just a networking event for all of those people. Because I don't know how many times I've been sitting across from someone and I'm thinking like Sharon, I'm thinking like, oh, I know somebody that could use voice work for a commercial, or someone who could use badass audio for a trailer, or, something that I'm like, I really want all these people that I've met and done all these interviews with to meet each other, and that they could, and it's not even for me, like not to like toot my own horn or anything about it, but like, I'm not doing it for me.
Right.
I'm doing it. Well, maybe A, to say like, I'm really serious about this,
right.
But B, so that like, if I find out that you and, so-and-so collaborated and was able to launch something that was super successful, and I know that the connection was made from an event that I put on that you guys met.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
That's amazing. Right?
It's an amazing feeling.
Dude, that's what it's about.
My wife will always tell people that I am I will always show up for the homies.
Yeah.
Like,
bro.
I want to see my friends win.
For whatever that's worth, that's very apparent. You give off that energy.
I want the homies to win.
Yeah.
Like, even if I'm losing, I want the homies to do well.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, sure, I might be a little jealous, but
of course, well, that's nothing wrong with that. You're human.
Yeah, I'm a human. Of course, if my buddy's buying a yacht, I'm gonna be like, well, I kind of want a yacht.
Yeah.
I just want a boat. You're buying a yacht,
right?
But I just want everybody to win.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's enough business out there to win.
Dude, there's so much food for us all to eat.
Yeah.
There's no reason.
There's unlimited food.
Dude, it's all out there. It's all out there. The money's already there. You just got to go find it. You know what I mean? You and I are very much of the same cloth.
Yeah.
Because you seem to be much more motivated by lifting up other people. And it's apparent in what you're doing with the podcast, and it's apparent in the way you carry yourself. And I think that's what makes a great entrepreneur. So, I don't know if you were in the market for a motivational speech, but I think you're going to crush it in your endeavors, because you're following an amazing path of helping other people.
Well, I Appreciate those words, dude. It was almost like and that's the other thing that I'm working on also is taking compliments well.
Oh,
Like we were talking about before, is like, oh, like, yeah, whatever. Like never giving yourself credit for anything.
Yeah.
I'm the king of that.
Yeah.
My boss will be like, oh, you crushed it this month. And I'll be like,
Yeah.
I just got lucky.
Yeah.
And they're just like, no, you're actually like doing a good job. And I'm like, not really.
You want me to mess your head up again?
Yeah, hit me.
It's like all stuff that I sit in every day, bro.
Hit me, dude.
How good do you feel when you get to compliment somebody or you get to lift somebody up?
I feel amazing.
It feels incredible, right?
Yeah.
You're robbing other people of that when you don't take their compliments. Boom.
You heard that.
Boom.
Shit.
Yeah. So you deserve to feel lifted up too, bro.
Damn.
You deserve that.
That's
too.
sick, dude.
And other people deserve the great feeling it feels like to lift you up.
Damn, bro, you're motivating the hell out of me. What are you doing next Monday?
Dude, baby, I'm here for it, son.
Let's fucking
That's what I love doing.
Bro, you know, you look like a celebrity that I can't freaking figure out right now.
I know my buddy Josh is listening to this, and he's going to text in Colin Farrell because he never leaves me alone.
Holy shit. Yeah, you look like Colin Farrell, bro.
Shit.
His name's Josh?
Yeah.
Josh, you're right, brother.
Damn it. Well,
damn.
Is that what you were thinking?
It is, but there's somebody else, but it'll come to me later. But yeah,
Heard.
Colin Farrell's a good one. Yeah, damn.
Heard.
Damn.
Well, I guess I'll accept it. He's a good looking dude.
He's a good looking dude.
I'll take it.
Successful actor.
I wish I had the accent.
Yo, true.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
Facts.
So.
Okay. Sick. Look at that. Motivation. As a fellow gamer, I want to get your opinion on what do you think about the new free to play model with microtransactions on the back end, like the Fortnites, the Warzones, the PUBGs, the what is it called? I played it for like 2 weeks and it was fun as hell, but I put it down. What is it?
Apex.
No, it's more kid friendly. It was like a little
Roblox.
Nah. God dang it, it's gonna kill me. What is it? Oh my god, it was so fun.
Describe it. What's the game?
It's like you're these little things and you're running around and you're
Fall
trying
Guys.
to Fall
Fall
Guys.
Guys.
Yeah.
100%.
Played the shit out of it for like 2 weeks, but then
100%.
stopped. What do you think about that? Like, kind of like to your point earlier about like they got to make money somehow.
Yeah.
So what are the thoughts of like putting a free game out and saying, okay, if you play the base game and never purchase anything, you'll be fine.
Right.
But if you want to enhance, because buying a skin in Fortnite, it's not going to do anything for you.
Right.
It just makes you look cooler.
Right.
What do you think about that model?
See, again, I don't mind it if it's done in the spirit of good business where both parties are getting or receiving value, right? So again, I'm going to pull Destiny because I think they're the best game of all time.
Yeah, Destiny. There you go. There's another one.
I think they do a great job of it. Now, it's been a 10-year ride. They've had their missteps.
Has it been 10 years now?
It's been 10 years, bro. And again, I'm going to sell you on the most recent expansion.
Golly.
It's been one long 10-year story, and this last expansion's the end.
They're done?
Well, they're going to keep going, but they've been telling one story for 10 years, and this is the end of that story.
Because I was going to say, when they first announced it and they said, Bungie says it's going to be this 10-year thing, everyone was like, bullshit. They're not going to carry it on for 10 years.
They did it, bro.
Wow, it's been 10 years.
It's been 10 years.
That's insane.
It's been 10 years.
I feel old now, officially.
I know. But like, I think their model works because when they're doing it right, as a fan, I think I am getting way more value than I am paying for. I have dropped 400 hours into that game. And again, my best friends I made through that game and still communicate with because of that game.
To this day,
To this day. So it's like, yeah, I don't mind that they're asking me to pay $10 to make my dude look cool because I want my dude to look cool. Like, it's like, it's essentially donating to the business. You know, I mean, it's like a Patreon.
Yeah,
right?
true.
Hey,
true.
Here's a way you can support us so we can keep making the best shooter of all time.
Right. Yeah.
I think there is an authentic way to do it. Obviously, the pay to win models are crap. And any game that does that, hey, you can either play the game for 30 hours to get the best gun, or you can pay me $50 and you have it now. That's trash.
Yeah.
No one's gonna like that.
Facts.
The ones where it keeps you from playing the game unless you pay money.
Yeah,
that
sucks.
But a game that's, you want the cooler skins or,
if I want to have a Batman skin and it does nothing for me other than make me look like Batman, let me do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And again, to me, it's the company saying, here's a way to support us if you like the product. Obviously, there are companies.
Good point, man.
There are obviously companies that are sharks and are doing it to be predatory.
Sure. I've never even thought about it from that perspective of like, It's a donation.
Yeah.
It's like, here's this really fun game we're giving you for free. And if you want to show us you appreciate us, buying and now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, buying a $10 skin once a year is the least I can do.
That's not a problem.
Not at
Not
all.
a problem. Or like a single player game where it's like,
or like an expansion every year,
Yeah.
or like $20 or $30 for an expansion.
Look, dude,
okay.
Mike and I we're a 3-man team. It's me, Mike, and our programmer Moz at Reality Hacker Game Studios. And the little mobile game that we're making, Mike does most of the funds, but this shit costs money, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's expensive to make these games, let
Yeah.
alone market them and all that. Like, the studio's got to make money somehow.
Yeah.
So if I give you a free game, yeah, I'm going to give you ways to donate to help the studio stay alive.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's either that or I pump it full of ads. You don't want that.
No.
So, I mean, again, I even don't mind the model of a game where it's free and there's ads everywhere, or you can pay $5 and there's no ads.
I've done that.
I do that with every mobile game. Doesn't
Really?
bother me. Doesn't bother me. Because, well, if the game's fun, obviously.
Yeah,
If I'm sitting there and I'm hooked on it,
Yeah.
good job,
Yeah.
guys.
$5.
I tip more than that for a cheeseburger. Like,
Damn,
you know
bro.
what I mean? Like,
dang.
those people.
I never
work
even
hard
think
on
about it
game.
like that
Yeah.
either.
I mean,
what's $4 to? The last one I did it for was this game called Coffee Golf.
Yeah.
And it's really, it was like, it's almost like Wordle in the way that there's one course a day. And so it's like a little putt thing. I'll have to show you later.
That sounds
But
sick. I love that.
It's like you're put on this like little platform, and there's a hole here, a hole here, a hole here, and a hole here. And you have to just pull your finger back and launch the golf ball as far as you can.
Okay.
You basically just have to get
I
it in
played
every
that
single
style
hole.
of
Yeah.
game. Okay.
For as least amount of strokes as possible.
Okay.
And if you pay one-time thing of $4, it's like no ads. And I was like, if I've played a game every day for the past 2 months consistently,
Yep.
or even 1 month,
Yep.
and I don't see myself getting bored of it, I will absolutely give you that $5.
For sure. Like at the end of the day, if you're playing a game and you enjoy it, you really enjoy it, you got 5 hours of entertainment out of it. Do you not think the people that spent 9 months creating that game and however much money it took deserve $5 of a tip so that you're
I love thinking about it like that. The tip, bro. That's genius.
Yeah.
And I never would have thought that way if it wasn't for talking somebody in the space
And that's
too.
the whole reason Mike and I are trying to do what we're doing, because you've only thought about it in the way that the market now perceives it.
Of a consumer,
Yeah, as a consumer, and how everyone's talking. Also, you're only thinking about it in the way that you've seen from the bigger companies because they're the ones doing the most of it, right?
Sure.
Where it's very predatory, and it's understandable. There's no one really talking about the authentic way to do this, right? But there is, and I don't know. It doesn't bother me if it's done with the player in mind.
I like that a lot, man.
Again, I played. Did you ever play For Honor?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was hooked on For Honor for a long time. I paid like $25 so that my dude could do a backflip. It's whatever. I played that game for hundreds of hours.
Yeah, hundreds.
Yeah. So
what game besides Destiny?
Yeah.
Because I think that's your number one.
Big time.
What is the game that you've put, maybe not your favorite, but what's the most amount of hours you've put into a game?
So Destiny 100%.
Yeah.
Skyrim's an obvious one.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I dropped a lot in Skyrim. I love looter shooters. So Destiny, I played The Division a lot.
Yeah, I played the shit out of that when that came out.
Borderlands.
I was gonna say, bro, I hope you say Borderlands. I'm such a Borderlands fan.
I went hard in Borderlands. All those looter shooters, the ones that are end game where you collect loot. When I was younger, I went hard in World of Warcraft.
I've never played it.
I went back and played it recently. I don't enjoy it as much anymore. But when I was younger, it was a big deal. That's one you have to have a group to really enjoy. Yeah, in my opinion,
you can't really run that solo. I mean, you could, you're not going to get an enjoyable experience.
You're getting half of the fun.
Now, when you play Destiny, are you playing with a group?
Oh yeah, me and Mike have built up a reality hacker.
Oh, that's badass.
Plan that we recruit people all day for sure.
Oh, that's amazing.
Come join us.
Hey, bro. As we're talking about this, I'm like, I might need to go home and download Destiny.
Come join us.
Damn, bro. My wife's going to hate you, bro.
My sister-in-law already hates me. I've been trying to recruit my brother-in-law for the last 2 months.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
It's fun, though. I mean, but
Squad up.
To answer your question again, I don't see a problem with it if the player is put in mind first.
Okay.
If it just augments the experience.
When you think of like, I know it'll be hard to like narrow some down, but when you think of like a franchise or a game that, like, besides Destiny, because I know that's your baby. What other games like stick out to you as being like, oh, timeless? I could play it 30 years from now and still have the same amount of fun.
See, I would say Skyrim, but I feel like that's an unfair answer because it's only timeless because of the mods.
True.
Like, I don't think I'd be able to play that forever in the vanilla state.
Yeah, facts.
Timeless games.
I don't know how many times I've gone back. The fact that that one company, I think it's Toys for Bob. Yeah, Toys for Bob remastered the original Spyro the Dragon trilogy
Yeah.
and put it out. I've replayed it no less than 15 times.
Yeah.
And I still get the same enjoyment out of it.
That's dope.
Or like Lego games, I think are fun as hell.
Lego games are great.
I just love it.
I'm
Legos
big on
as an
fighting
adult.
games like Mortal Kombat, I think would never
Really?
die for me. I would say, now I have to caveat this answer because I respect the game. I would say Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
I've never beaten it, and I'm ashamed of myself for that. I've replayed it 21 times.
I've never played it, period.
Oh, okay. Well, then I feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
I just never reached the end. So long freaking game. Again, I get bored, so I want to do something else. You know. That would be a big one. I think any of the Grand Theft Auto games I'm big fans of. Like San Andreas, I think is a titan of the industry. Halo. I played Halo. I played Halo 1 for the 50th time last year.
Yeah.
Holds up beautifully.
Yep. I'm glad you said Borderlands. I feel like Borderlands is very much so underappreciated. I feel like their fan base for Borderlands is very niche.
Yeah, big time.
Like when this Borderlands movie drops in a few months, I feel like it's not going to make a ton of money.
It's going to get shit on.
But it's going to be seen and supported by a very good group of people.
Absolutely.
Like I'm going to go to my theater and there's going to be maybe 4 other people in it.
If they make that movie for that group of people, if they make the movie trying to make it commercial, we're like, yeah, even if you didn't play Borderlands, you'll enjoy it. If they try and go that route, it's going to go to shitter. It's what happened to the Halo show.
Yeah.
It's trying to serve not the gamers, but also not the non-Haloers.
Right.
That doesn't
work
to anybody now.
No.
So I'm with you. I hope the movie kicks ass.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be good.
I hope so.
I get more and more concerned with a Kevin Hart movie these days.
I was going to say, I'm not a fan of the fact that they put Kevin Hart in that role as Roland, because in the game, Roland is a big, tall, buff, kind of like authoritative guy. Like, honestly, I hate that he's popping up in my head to play him. Honestly, The Rock probably would have been a better Roland than Kevin Hart.
Right. So there's a little risk, but we'll see.
Like they could have done like Idris Elba or something
that would have been a sick pick.
Or Mahershala Ali.
Yeah.
Or God, even Nick Cannon over Kevin Hart.
That's where the concern is. Like that's what tells me they might be trying to make it like, oh, even if you don't like the games, you like the movie.
Oh, it's like a new Kevin Hart looter shooter movie. Let's come see it. Jack Black as Claptrap. I'm cool with though.
That's fantastic.
That's fantastic.
That's a fantastic. I mean, I was gonna say like, I think the Dungeons and Dragons movie did a good job of serving both the non-Dungeons and Dragons players and the Dungeons and Dragons.
I never saw it.
It was really good.
It's been on my list for like 6 months.
It's really fun. It's one of those movies where it's like, it's not a great movie by any stretch, but it's really fun.
But I'll watch it. I'll be like, oh, it was good. And then I'll never think about it again.
I wouldn't even say that. There's a couple of scenes that I go back on often. Because they do a really good job of like realizing a bad dice roll. Like there are parts in the movie where
they almost acknowledge it.
Yeah, where like they have a plan, and then the way it plays out, it mimics the silliness that happens at a D&D table. Like the way they solve puzzles is like, that's ridiculous, but it technically works.
Huh.
They did a really good job.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah,
I'll have to check it out.
There's one scene where Chris Pine is trying to serenade people because he's a bard and he screws. It's
okay.
I laughed for a good 5 minutes. Okay. It was really well done.
Okay, heard. Zach, if you've listened to a couple episodes, you might know that at some point during the episode, there comes a point where we discuss a group of questions where they're all just simple questions, but it sounds like you and I are going to have some discussions over them. So are you ready for these questions?
Bring it, bro.
All right. So we talked a little bit about film earlier. So let's talk. What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie. That's a tough one. I don't do favorites very well. Gonna be a left field answer.
Okay.
I really enjoyed The Greatest Showman.
That's a good movie.
Dude, I enjoyed the music in that movie. Just spoke to me so deeply. Like it was just so well written. And I mean, it was a very entertaining movie.
That's a good answer. I respect it.
I'm gonna stick with that answer.
Okay.
That's the one that always pops into my head when I'm asked that question.
That's a very solid answer.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm not going to judge you on that one.
I appreciate you.
For the longest time, I hadn't seen that one. And then a few years ago, I finally did watch it. And I was like, okay, worth the hype.
It's good.
Yeah, it's
Again, I think it's my favorite just because I'm a musician and the music in that movie is spectacular. So
Yeah.
I think if it weren't for the music, it would be nowhere close. The movie itself is okay.
Yeah, sure. But the music levels it up a minute.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. Next one. Do you believe in aliens?
Absolutely.
Hell
100%.
yeah. Good stuff.
There's too much out there to think that that's not a thing.
Be really disappointing if you found out there was nothing else out there.
I'd be horrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be like, really? This is it?
Yeah. 100%.
Hell yeah.
I'm here for the aliens.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Not in the Scooby-Doo walking around drapey white sheet ghost.
Yeah.
I do believe in spirits. I mean, I am, I consider myself very religious and I believe in energies.
Sure.
So I think, like haunted houses I buy, but I see it more as like the negative energy of whatever happened in that house sits in the walls.
So you don't necessarily think of it as I
don't think of poltergeists.
Right. You don't think of like if someone was murdered in that house, you don't think their spirit is hanging around? Or you think like the fact that someone was murdered in that house, that negativity of murder haunts the house?
I think.
You know what I'm saying?
You ever seen that movie? I always forget the name. John Travolta, where he gets like struck by lightning and he becomes super smart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
So in that movie,
very strange reference, but go on.
I'm gonna tie it together.
Yeah.
I think that movie does a good job of summarizing how I see ghosts, quote unquote ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the movie, he's dead, and his wife goes outside because the whole movie is about transference of energy. That's kind of the theme of the movie. She goes outside and they pan on her looking at the trees, and the implication is that she can feel he's still there transferring energy through the trees, right? That's how I see spirits and ghosts. I think you can channel past loved ones, or you walk into a house where someone was brutally murdered. You can definitely feel that person's presence.
Sure.
I just don't necessarily think that they're a three-dimensional ghost walking around slamming doors. I believe that energy sits. It's the same thing where like someone walks into a room and they're a really negative person. You don't have to see them walk in. You almost feel them walk in.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing to me. That energy's got to go somewhere.
Very interesting. Never thought about it like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think, even aside from religion, scientifically, you can't destroy energy, right?
Sure.
It's only transferred.
Yeah.
So whatever we are has to go somewhere.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
that's true. Do you drink coffee?
Way too much.
What's your coffee order?
I tend to go, okay, so if I'm at a place I regularly go, I just go drip coffee, a little bit of almond milk. My wife and I have a game show internally where any new coffee place, we get a almond milk vanilla latte. That's how we judge the barometer of that coffee place.
Sure.
It's the same order every time.
It's like trying a new pizza place. I'm going to order cheese or pepperoni because if they can't nail the cheese or pepperoni, they don't deserve any more.
Right.
In my head.
Right. But most of the time, it's just I just go drip coffee.
Okay. Sick. Do you have any allergies?
Gluten.
Okay.
Not celiac, just intolerant. Pollen, for sure.
Yep.
Got that Georgia seasoning.
Yep. Georgia seasoning. That's good.
Pretty sure that's it. I think I'm allergic to oats at this point. I mean, I'm diabetic, so I have that whole you have one autoimmune disease, you can get so many others that just come and go. So I don't know anymore.
Okay.
I just eat chicken and rice and just stay safe.
Safe bet.
Yeah.
Rank these 3 dips.
Oh, hell yeah.
Queso, guac, and salsa.
Guac. Oh man. That's such an unfair question because that's so dependent on where we're getting it from. Okay. So in general, I would say guac. I'm gonna say guac, salsa, queso.
Okay, I respect it.
Yeah,
I respect it. Spotify or Apple Music?
Spotify.
Okay.
Apple Music is trash.
You suck.
Sorry.
I fucking hate you. Okay, so let's fight about this for a second. So
I've started a fight. I have no actual dog in.
So I got on my wife. So my wife uses Spotify. I use Apple Music. And yes, it's confusing sometimes if you're thinking that like, oh, they have 2 separate music libraries. Yeah, we do. And it's weird. But
I would like to quell your anger a little bit.
Yes.
To say, I purely say that I've literally never once logged into Apple Music, so I don't even know what you're referencing right now.
Cool.
So if that helps you feel any better.
It's like the people who say that PlayStation is trash, but they've only ever played an Xbox.
Dude, you just love wearing a team jersey.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Absolutely. It's like, bro, I've always just worn this shirt.
Yeah.
I'm not going to wear that shirt.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say your shirt's
just
trash.
Like my brother played baseball all through high school. I hate baseball, but I would always like going to the other bleachers. Be like, you hear what they were saying about the batter? Like,
this guy sucks, man.
It's trash, dude. And go to my brother's team, like, what the fucking said over there?
That's amazing. Yeah. So my wife pointed out the other day that Spotify has more user features, I guess, but Apple Music has better sound quality. That's what she said.
I'll give you that.
She said that Spotify, there's just so much more in the algorithms on the playlists in Spotify. I will give you guys that. Apple Music's, they try, but it's not like Spotify.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah.
But she said after listening, like in the same car, either my phone plugged in or her phone plugged into the same music, mine just sounds better.
That's totally fair. I'll acknowledge that. The sound quality is not great on Spotify.
Sick.
I've never been, it might come as a surprise because I've been a musician my whole life, but I've never been a big like audiophile. Like I'll listen to shitty headphones. I'm so much more I enjoy the experience more than the technical audio quality. You know? So if it's a good song, it's a good song. I don't care that there's
facts.
Bass, you know what I mean? So,
agreed. So on that same wavelength of music, you get a music festival. You're planning this music festival. And you get to pick the 3 headliners for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It doesn't necessarily, they're not ranked in any order, just 3 headliners. Who are they?
That's such a great question because it forces me to not pick my favorite bands. I got to make sure this fits as a music festival.
Well, not necessarily. Maybe it's just a creative way of being like, who are your favorite artists?
No, because the music festival's got to they got to fit. It's got to make sense.
I think the last guest I had said Biggie, Grateful Dead, and
well, there'd be a lot of pot at that concert. It would make sense in that sense.
And probably Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, that rounds it out.
That fits.
That sounds like a great concert. Grateful Dead in the middle and Snoop and Biggie on both ends.
I think my 3 headliners. So I'm a big rock dude.
Okay.
But a lot of today's rock bands suck live because they're boring to watch. I think I would go Foo Fighters are the main headliners.
Okay.
That's to this day the best concert I've ever seen.
Okay. Good answer.
Right before them, I think I would throw Avenged Sevenfold.
Okay.
Because they were also fantastic live. And then I'd throw Daughtry on the 3.
Daughtry. Okay. Good choice.
See, people sleep on Daughtry.
Bro. Daughtry slaps.
Have you heard his most recent music? He's still going.
Maybe I haven't heard it.
No one knows that he's still making music. He's going hard rock again.
Bro, I followed him on Instagram a few years ago, and maybe I unfollowed him, but he's dope. He's a dope dude.
Big dope, bro. So the newest album is like, it fits with Avenged. He's on tour right now with Seven Dust.
Really?
Like, he's going in.
Okay.
And it slaps. I went and saw him in Nashville 2 years ago, right when the album released. So before anyone had heard any of the music. And it was hilarious because we were at the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh my gosh.
And it was a bunch of like old Nashvillians expecting I'm coming home. Like the original Daughtry.
Yeah.
And they were getting power chorded and just grunge rocked. And there were so many just clutching pearls. I'm like, oh God.
Oh my God.
What is happening here? So yeah, that'd be my 3.
That's amazing.
He puts on a good show now.
That's a good lineup.
I respect a lot of money for that lineup. Yeah, actually.
Hell yeah. If you don't do karaoke, well, first of all, if you do karaoke, what is your go-to song?
Wanted Dead or Alive was always my song when I was gigging. That was the one that got my crowds back for me.
Hell yeah.
If I were to do karaoke though, because I go a little bit more over the top on karaoke, Don't Stop Believing is one I throw down on, and I Don't Want to Be by Gavin DeGraw is another one.
Oh, that's a good song too. Okay.
I go hard on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good point. Good points. Good points. Do you have kids?
Not yet.
Okay. What does your ideal stress-free, work-free, obligation-free Saturday look like for you? What I might reframe this question in the future is what does Zach's like self-care day look like?
Self-care day. I'm gonna be outside for a good bit of it. Probably
Okay.
gonna go check out a farmer's market with the wife. I
Okay.
love a good farmer's market.
Okay.
I am in the gym for one part of it.
Okay.
I'm definitely playing some Destiny.
For sure.
100%.
I'd be surprised if that wasn't part of the
Yeah, no,
schedule.
absolutely. That's probably the majority of the day, honestly.
It's probably farmer's market from 9 to 10 and then Destiny from the rest of the day.
Pretty much, yeah. I'll do a little, I like to read. I'm one of those, like, it's going to be one of those obnoxious entrepreneur answers, and I get it, but I'm one of those people, like, I really enjoy what I do. So, like, I'm probably still going to do some sort of development towards one of the projects.
Yeah.
Yeah, that little Bible study, little devotion.
Okay.
Call it a day.
Okay.
Nice dinner.
Yeah. Where's the dinner at?
Oh, I like to cook, bro.
Do you?
Yeah, my wife and I a couple of years ago went on a big, like, you familiar with Dave Ramsey?
Yeah, for sure.
We went on a big Dave Ramsey. We were in a house that we couldn't afford, debt all over the place, weren't having any fun. So we picked up the whole rice and beans lifestyle, got out of the house, got rid of all the debt. So I've held on to not eating out as much.
Really?
So we go out every now and then to celebrate something big, but for the most part we cook at home.
Good for you guys.
Plus, my wife's a nutritionist. So
okay, I was gonna ask what she does.
Yeah, we know a lot of like horror stories of what's in food around us. So
sure.
We're a little paranoid.
So you guys did the whole Dave Ramsey thing. So you were like the people that called in and said, we're in trouble with this house. We don't know what to do.
Done deal. Yeah. We sold the house. I sold my car. Sold so much of our crap. Yeah. Got out of it.
Good for you, man. That's
Appreciate
awesome.
you.
Appreciate
fantastic.
You. I'm sure it was tough at the time.
It was a big pride hit for sure. Yeah. We had to like, okay, we're going to look absolutely psychotic, but it's, you reach a point where you got all this cool stuff, but you're not laughing with your wife anymore. It's like, fuck this.
Damn.
This is stupid.
That's deep.
So got out. Never looked back.
Hell yeah, man. That's a win. Good. Congrats on that.
Appreciate you, brother.
What does success look like to you?
Doing what I want with the people I want to do it with. It looks like freedom of choice. Yeah. I have
the same answer.
Yeah. I mean, I don't need flashy stuff. I don't need, I'd like to have a nice, comfortable house. I don't need super. I'm in my O2 shitbox Camry that I got in the Ramsey chapters, and I could upgrade it, but I haven't because I don't. It's whatever. Drives fine.
Yeah,
no payments.
Gets you to So point A to point B, just fine.
I want to be able to go where I want to go, hang out with who I want to hang out with, and go do one of my new harebrained ideas that I want to do.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. What's your biggest fear?
Oh man. There's a lot of them, man. I think if I had to name one, I get real hung up on like being somebody who unwittingly does wrong by people. So it's held me back on a lot of ventures I've wanted to pursue, and it's something it's holding me back from who I want to be today. Still, I'm still working on it, but like I overthink everything I do because like with the game studio and the coaching program we're doing, that's something you want to talk about feeling a call that you just feel alive every time you do it like that. I have that there, but I don't do so much of what I could do because I'm afraid of, oh, what if I misguide somebody? What if this screws up their life? Or it's like, so I deal with that imposter syndrome a lot. I have a huge fear of just accidentally doing wrong by people. I'm anchored enough in my identity to know that I would never do it intentionally. I truly just love loving on people, but I have a huge complex with just unwittingly making a mistake and harming somebody.
Wow, that's deep too.
It's never come to fruition, and that's to my wife's point every day. But yeah, knock on wood, exactly.
Yeah,
but
wow, man. And then lastly, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Cheesy job interview question, but.
Dude, you know what? I've tried that question so many times because any business influencer, entrepreneur, coach, or whatever gives you that like your 5-year goal and your 1-year goal and your 10-year goal. But dude, so much changes in 2 months,
right?
Like, I mean, shoot, the last 3 months of my life are unrecognizable to where I was. And so I don't know, man. I hope I'm just still focusing on putting my main focus on just loving on people. and just doing stuff like this, meeting new people, interacting, hearing stories, learning from people. I hope I'm continuing to grow 10 years from now.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, so now I'm going to give you the opportunity to plug away, plug the game studios, plug anything you guys have been working on, just plug music, plug whatever you want, man.
Heard. So, first and foremost, anybody who is listening that needs custom music or audio for your podcast, for your game, for your YouTube channel, whatever it is, my dad and I would love to work with you. We love bringing stories to life and brains to life with some sound. Please reach out. Atlanta's a big game dev city. So any of y'all who are or know somebody or your kids are interested in game development and what that even looks like, would love to have you reach out to us at Reality Hacker Game Studios. We're building just a big loving community of people that are trying to grow together and build each other up. So come check that out. And then the last one I didn't get to touch on. I am recently licensed in life insurance in Georgia.
Really?
So just another venture that picked up on. So if you are married, you have someone dependent on you, on your income, got a new house, got a new baby, I'd love to help you navigate that world because it's wild, especially if you have an autoimmune disease. As a diabetic, it's one of the reasons I joined up. It's been impossible to find it for myself, but I have some clear answers now. So if I can help y'all through that, every single one of those things you can reach at, I don't know, can I give my phone number?
Yeah, sure.
404-538-6218. And I'd be happy to help you with any of those things.
Cool. First of all, that's cool. Didn't even know that.
Thank you.
Again, I told you, I said this off the air, but I try not to do too much research on folks so I can get genuinely surprised. So I am genuinely, especially based on everything we've talked about. And you're like, at the end, oh yeah, by the way, I do life insurance. And it's like, what the bro, this has been so much fun.
I had a blast, man. I appreciate you having me.
First of all, absolutely. Second of all, the hype was absolutely real. We were both excited for it. It happened real quick. Shout out to Sharon for making it happen. But yeah, dude, you're kick ass, and I wish you continued success.
You as well, my friend.
And I'm sure we'll work together in some capacity at some point. I'd love to. I'd love to hang. Love to meet the wife. I mean,
absolutely. Well, you got the PlayStation name now too, so we got to get on that too.
Hey, man. I might download Destiny.
It's the final shape. It's the final shape, Logan. We need you.
Okay. I'll do it. Guys, I will put all of the things that he mentioned in the bio or the description so that you can easily access email address or contact information or the game studios or anything, even life insurance, the things that he mentioned so that you have easy access so you don't have to go and look for it. It'll be all right there below you so that you have easy access and easy contact. Again, like I said at the top, if you have one person you want to share this with, share it with them, send them the link. Maybe they have a long commute. Maybe they sit in a cubicle where they, stare at a computer screen all day and they do it in silence. Well, give them something to listen to. We can be that source.
Do it for the warm, fuzzy feeling of helping a small business. It doesn't cost you any money to share this man's podcast. He's doing good work.
Facts.
And then you get to tell everybody that you supported a local business today.
I like that a lot.
Bing,
I might steal that.
Take it, bro. Yours.
So yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with us this morning. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. See you later.